Hi folks, welcome to the channel. My name's Colin, call sign MM0OPX. In this video I want to talk to you about an end-fed half-wave antenna that's just a little bit different to the norm. Now, not that long ago I seen a video by another YouTuber who was actually talking about a half-square antenna, but instead of feeding it at the corner, was feeding it at the bottom with a 49:1 transformer. I've also had this idea, and that's kind of spurred me on to say, revive this idea that I've had from some time ago. But mine's is going to be just a little bit different. I think it's going to make the antenna just a little bit more versatile, and just give you quite a lot of options, and be able to work a lot of different bands. So I've actually got some of this antenna built already. It's still probably a few hours worth of work to finish it off, and of course then I need to get it out to test it, but unfortunately I won't be able to do that here. My garden's just too small, but I'll need to sort something out for that. But as I said, in this video I just want to talk about it, and I want to show you the theory. Please tell me if you think I'm barking up the wrong tree. Tell me if you think it won't work, but I think that this has got some really good potential to give you a good antenna and give you that gain on your primary band. So let's take a look. So I've got the whiteboard here, and I think this is probably the easiest way to actually show you what I want to do. Now, if you've not seen a half square antenna before, what you've basically got is two vertical sections that are quarter wavelength, and I'm sorry this is not to scale. And then you've got a flat top, which is half a wavelength. Now conventionally you feed it here at the X and you bring the coax away before bringing it down, and this here is 50 ohms roughly. So say we were talking about 20 meters, an antenna for 20 meters, so a quarter wave, so that would be 5 meters, this would be 5 meters, this would be 10 meters. So it's a full wavelength antenna, and that would give you your 20 meter of wire, and this would be for 20 meters, 14 megahertz. But instead of doing that, we'll start again. So that's your quarter, that's your half wavelength. That's just half wavelength spacing. We feed it here. Now we feed it here with our in-fed half-wave transformer, and you can actually have I think you can have a ground there if you want, or maybe some radials, and then obviously then your coax then coming back to the shack. So this is effectively, it's two quarter waves, and they're fed in phase. So obviously this vertical's fed slightly different from here, and it gives you gain. It gives you approximately, I think it's about 3 dB gain broadside. So the gain would be like that way, and then that way. So you can obviously orientate this which way you go, so you'll get gain in both directions. You'll get obviously nulls off the side. So feeding it with the in-fed half-wave transformer down here, there's a good chance it's actually going to work on obviously the other bands. So this is obviously a full wave on 20 meters, but then it's a half wave on 40 meters, so it's going to give us 40, it's going to give us 20, 15, and it's going to give us 10. Now I've not actually tried an in-fed half-wave transformer at this point, but I think it's really worth giving it a go to see if we can get all these bands. The 20 is the only one that we're going to get gain on. It's only going to operate as the half square, but we're going to get performance on 40, 15 and 10. It's going to, on the higher bands, it's probably going to give you a bit of a funny radiation pattern as it is on 15, but it's going to work. Now you could scale this up for 40 meters, so you could make a 40 meter half square antenna. So then this would be, so if it was on 40 meters, this would be 10, that would be 10, that would be 20. So then that would be an end-fed half wave for 80 meters. So then that would give you 80. 40 is where your gain would be, 20, 15, 10. So as you can see, you're going to get a gain antenna on one band, but then you're going to get an antenna that's going to work on all these other bands, hopefully, as long as the transformer's okay with these angles here. So that's the theory that we're going to look at. Now there's quite a lot of literature out there on half square antennas. So if you've not looked these up, you know, go and actually have a look at these. This is not really the video for that, but I'm going to do a little bit of a quirk here. So we're going to start again. It'll be easier to draw this out. So these are our two supports. Let's do that. This is going to be our wire. We'll put that in red. Okay, so that's our wire. And what will we use? We use green. So we're going to use green for our antenna. Now, we're not just going to use a single piece of wire as such. We're going to use an adjustable length of wire. So based on the adjustable wave antenna that I like to use, I'm going to use the same sort of principle for this antenna, and it's going to make it a very versatile type antenna. So effectively what we're going to have is we're going to have our end-fed half wave, but there's going to be in a reel, so that'll come off there. There's also going to be another reel at this side. Oops, it should actually be at the end of the wire. Another reel here. And what you can actually do is you can actually wind the wire in and out. So say, let's say for example we've got that set up for 20 meters, a half square on 20 meters. There's going to be 20 meters of wire in total, meaning it's a half wave on 40 meters. Alright, so that's great. But say you wanted to work 17 meters, what you could do is you could wind the wire back to say, I don't know where it would be, maybe this point, and that would let you work 17 meters. You could wind it back a bit more, and that would let you work, I don't know, 12 meters, for example. By putting the addition of the reels there, you're able to adjust the length of this wire on the fly and adjust it yourself. It's not ideal if you're going to be doing it every couple of minutes, but if you just wanted to change bands, it's going to really give you some different options. Now, I want to design this antenna so it actually works on all bands. So it's going to be 80 through 10, if possible. Again, this is all just theory. I need to try it, but I think it's actually got a good chance of working. Again, you know, please leave a comment below if you think this is going to work or not. So hopefully that's explained the theory roughly. So now I just want to kind of look at the let's look at a little bit of the hardware that we've got here already made. So this is an end-fed half-wave transformer in here. What I'll do, I'll actually just take the cover off here. It won't take me long. Take this cover off. Okay, so there's our end-fed half-wave transformer. So this is my own end-fed half-wave. So this is actually a 56:1. And it's basically just a culmination of all the experiments I've been doing on a low loss transformer. So initially what I wanted to do, you could see that the antenna side is fitted to this bolt, and this is where the antenna wire will go. I'm actually going to use a bigger reel. It's actually going to be one of these. These are fly fishing reels, and I'll put a link to these in the description if you want to buy them. You know, feel free. So they actually make these reels in two sizes. So if you're a fly fisherman, this is what they call a size 5/6, and this is what they call a size 7/8. One's obviously just bigger than the other, and we need the bigger one to get all our wire on it. So what we're going to put on here is 40 meters of stainless steel wire, and on top of that we're going to put another 40 some meters of basically fishing braid, fishing line, which is going to allow us to operate these as reels. Now, taking it back a step, imagine that you had this mounted on a fiberglass pole. What you could do is you could take your antenna wire up the pole, top of the pole, and just come straight back down onto this reel, and that gives you a straight vertical. And that's probably how I'm going to use this antenna. I'm going to go down to salt water, and I'm going to basically have a half wave vertical on any band that I want. And when you have your wires too long, the patterns can get a bit ski-whiff. And by able to keep a half wave vertical at your given frequency, it's going to give you a much more even radiation pattern. So going back to the kind of four-square idea, imagine you've got your wire on here, but yet at the other end of your four-square over here, so basically what you do is you take your wire from here, you run it up to your pole, you run it across, and then you run it down, and you run it down onto this reel. Obviously these reels are tensioned, so basically you just release the tension off of here, so there's still some on it, and you just go across to your other pole, wind this in. You can have markers on here on the wire to where you need to wind it to, and then that's your wire actually set up. So you don't actually need to take extra wire. Everything would be basically on here already, which in some ways keeps it a bit compact. The poles that I'm going to be using, I'm either going to be using my 12-meter spider beam poles with a section or two removed, or I'm going to be using my 6-meter Life's a Breeze Pro poles, which are almost as good as a spider beam, just a mini version. These poles are quite stiff, which is going to allow you to get that bit of tension on your top, on your flat top, and if need be I could put another couple of guys. So that's the idea. Basically, if I go back to our drawing here, this would be here at this end, we would have a reel here at this end. I've still to work through, you know, the practicalities of how I'm actually going to attach this to the pole and stuff, but it's nothing that I've not done before. I've got, I think, everything in the garage here I need to do to actually be able to make this, and in the coming weeks that's what I'm going to do. So this is just obviously the part one of the video, my idea, sharing it with you, getting some feedback. It would be great if you could feedback and tell me what you think. Do you think it's a crazy idea? You know, and if I do it and it works, then, you know, it gives other people confidence to then go and perhaps go and do the similar thing itself. My mind's always churning, and I always like to be coming up with different ideas and doing different things. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're going to do. There we are, folks. That's what I'm currently working on. As I said, let me know down below what you think. Do you think it's a crazy idea? But as I said, I've got all the items here that I need to actually to build this anyway and make this happen. I've already got the spider beam poles and the Life's a Breeze Pro poles. I appreciate that if you perhaps don't have this equipment, then it's a bit of a gamble. You may have a couple of trees, just ideal in your garden to be able to do this. You know, 20 meters, a half square for 20 meters is probably quite realistic for some people. Even for going portable, I think it's, you know, quite a, you know, a reasonably easy thing to do. And if you can feed it down the bottom with that end-fed half-wave transformer, all the better. So, you know, I'll start to post updates. If you follow me on Twitter, if you look for me on Twitter, just at MM0OPX, I'll post updates as I go with my progress, and I'll maybe put one or two on the feed on YouTube. And hopefully in the next video I'll be showing you, in a few weeks, I'll show you the built antenna, and with any luck some testing, and just to see if we're able to get the antenna to tune a reasonable SWR in all related bands, and do we get gain on our half square band, which is going to be a difficult one to try and prove, because if I put a standalone vertical round about it, it might see that as parasitic, and then, or maybe I could do it with a dipole or something, but I'll try and get an opinion formed anyway. Okay folks, thanks for watching. 73, and I'll see you in the next one.